Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. In this video, I am going to talk about how Christianity, and you could toss in Islam as well, are a virus that humanity really needs to find a cure for. Because these two cults, belief systems, religions, I personally prefer the term cults, are the most destructive thing and the biggest threat to humanity that could exist. I would say the threat of these two to us socially is even greater than global warming. It's greater than anything because it's basically tearing at the fabric of what we are. It really reaches down and gets into basically what kind of people are living on this planet. What kind of people buy into this? Especially Christianity. Because, as far as I know, Islam doesn't have a scapegoating doctrine. Oh, they have the sadistic torture type of doctrine. They also have a very women are property, women are lesser than men type of mindset. And while that is socially harmful, and I'm not going to try and downplay how destructive that is socially, it's not near as bad as a message of anything you do can be washed away if you think the right thing. That is damn close to Orwellian. That is damn close to 1984. Thought crime. Because what goes right along with that, John 3:18, that if you don't believe, you're damned already because you don't believe. That is fucking immoral. It is literally saying that how you treat people, how you behave doesn't matter. I have actually heard Christians say, it doesn't matter how I treat you. I'm going to heaven, you're going to hell. That is the mindset that Christianity instills. Is a snobbish, I'm better than you because I think the right thing, or I think this whatnot. No. Your thoughts don't make you better than anyone else. While I do feel morally superior and ethically superior, it is because of the things that I oppose. It is because of the behaviors that I will not tolerate, that I will not give a pass to, I will not defend. And the behaviors are that of, for example, someone like David Wood. He is an apologist now, and he is a sociopath. There is no cure for sociopathy. None. Just like there's no cure for a psychopath. Now, the more accurate term is antisocial personality disorder. However, sociopath is a more commonly understood. It's a more recognizable. And someone like that, it is characterized by the lack of emotion for others. A lack of empathy. And some would say, how could he function? It's very simple. There are sociopaths and even psychopaths that are CEOs of businesses, that are managers at businesses. They function their whole life perfectly fine, not breaking any laws per se. They may not be the nicest people in the world, but they stay basically just on the one side of the positive side, or the not arrested side of the law. It doesn't mean that they're moral. It doesn't mean that how they treat people is good. It just means that they can steer clear of getting themselves jacked up. Thing is, Christianity, I would say, I don't know if it can be said that it causes it, but it sure as fuck doesn't help. Because the idea that you can be forgiven, washed away for what you do because of what you think, it's disgusting. What's also disgusting is telling a child that you're a sinner from birth. No, they're not. Unless they are Jewish, they're not bound to the 613 laws of the Jews of the Old Testament, of which the Ten Commandments are just a minor part of. To try and say that Jesus paid the price, you can't. Straight up, that's immoral. If a God would exist and would have an interest in justice, morality, ethics, then what you do would carry consequences. The aspect of, and it was even said by this Jesus, you reap what you sow. Well, the idea of you reap what you sow is in direct conflict with the idea of all you have to do is believe. Because let's just be putting all the cards on the fucking table. The reason someone like David Wood, or a lot of Christians, buy into and accept this Jesus and accept and do this stupid sinner's prayer thing is the stupid, immoral, unethical idea that you can be forgiven for anything. That you can be washed clean just by thinking the right thing, or just by thinking what we tell you. That's disgusting. Because it's saying you don't have to do a goddamn thing. The thing is, when you do something, the actions that you do don't magically get undone just because you say you think Jesus died for you. To use an example that I have before, the raped woman remains raped. The molested child remains molested. The murdered person remains dead. Whatever harm you caused somebody else, that harm remains. It doesn't go away just because you say you think something. It is immoral and unethical for you to try and act like you can be forgiven because you think something, and those that you hurt still have to live with the hurt you caused. Some of the things that people have done, they're not sins, quote unquote, but they are wrong. They are wrong socially. They are wrong legally. Now, another example of something that is wrong that people don't necessarily go to jail for right away because they're not necessarily caught is drunk driving. Drunk driving is wrong. There are laws against it. But just because somebody goes out and drinks and drives drunk doesn't mean that they get stopped every time. It'd be nice if it would happen, but it doesn't happen. Just like it would be nice if when somebody harms someone else, that there would be an immediate, but there's not. A lot of times people will get away with doing something and they have multiple victims. And then they finally get caught. And when they get caught, then they're boo-hooing. But their boo-hooing is not because of feeling guilty about what they did. Their boo-hooing is for themselves. Just like when these Christians talk about what they pray for, it's all about what they want. It's all about their agenda. Do this, give me that, I want this, me, me, me. If a God would exist, it would have to be fucking insulted. Because it would be, who the hell's the bitch here? Who the hell's serving who? You people want to act like this God is your personal genie in a bottle. Your Aladdin's lamp. If such would exist, it would have to look at us and be these evolved fucking monkeys think I'm going to jump when they say or do what they want. Who the fuck are they? Why the fuck should I do a damn thing for them? And this idea that you can be accepted into, even if there would be a heaven and a God and so forth, to think that it would accept you just because you claim to think someone died. So fucking what? If such would exist, it would have to look at it as far as, okay, you think they died. Doesn't mean anything. Never did. Even by the Bible. The only aspect of the Bible that seems to have any justification is the New Testament, but motherfuck, that's their text. That's their ideas. That's like going to someone like David Wood, a sociopath, and asking him questions and being whatever answers he gives, well, that's the truth. Why? Because he said it? Of course he's going to say what's going to benefit him. Of course the New Testament is going to say what benefits their agenda. But to try and act like Judaism goes along with it, you're smoking crack. It's showing you don't know what's in the fucking text. Because I have shown people over and over and over and over again how in multiple places in the Old Testament, the God clearly says no one can pay for the sins of another. No one. And that should be fucking common sense. Because to try and do that, if our legal system was based on that, think of what we would have as a society. Because what's in the news right now is this Dylan Roof has been convicted of killing 9 black people in a church, gunning them down. And personally, I feel he should be sentenced to death. And personally, I feel they should expedite the process. Screw the appeal. Screw all of that. He's guilty. We all know he's fucking guilty. Take him out and fucking shoot him. Case closed. No need to waste any more fucking money on it. The thing is, even if he would say he believes in Jesus, so fucking what? Those 9 people are still dead. The idea that a God would look at it and go, oh, you believe Jesus died. Okay, you're fine. Fuck you. Who cares what you think? The results of what you did linger. Some things can't be undone. Now, to be fair, the idea of eternal torture, that is also immoral. Straight up immoral. Because the fuck does that teach? Torture teaches nothing. Torture changes nothing. Torture proves nothing. The thing is, to get back to this socially, think about what would happen socially if someone like Dylan Roof was not convicted of killing those 9 people because he mouthed the right words in a courtroom. That instead, the judge had to look at him and go, well, you say Jesus died for you. Okay, you're free to go. Next case. What incentive would he have not to turn around and do the same thing again? What incentive would there be for him to not go out and do something even worse? And then be, oh, I believe Jesus died for me. And again, oh, you're free to go. It would be a slap in the face, not just to the justice system, but to the victims' families, to those they hurt. And that is exactly what Christians defend. Christians, how fucking dare you? Seriously, how fucking dare you try coming at someone like me and saying that there's something wrong with my morals? No. My morals and my ethics are in fucking line. Yours are fucked up. because you're going along with something that if it was done in society, you would fucking riot. You would be fucking outraged. You would be goddamn livid. I would hear it now. The idea of if that would happen, people would be, who cares what he says he thinks? It doesn't change what he did. The same thing goes for you. You can't get past what you did by mouthing words. I grew up with a very verbally abusive mother, and she would regularly, verbally tear me to hell. To where as a kid, I prayed to God and said, kill me because I can't take this. No God did anything. Either way, to stop it or to take me out of the situation. No God did a goddamn thing. And after each time, my mom would do this, oh, I'm sorry. It didn't take long as a kid for me to look at her and think, no, you're not. No, you're fucking not. Because if you were, you wouldn't keep fucking doing it. Yes, the anti-theist in me was born before the atheist. Because I realized as a child, if my mother would be a representation of the God, I would want no part of the God. Any God that would go along with something like a verbally abusive mother. Verbal abuse. I can't go along with it. That's not even saying torture. That's not even saying sexual abuse or physical abuse. Just the verbal. For me, it's a line. Nope. If you support that, if you can justify that, fuck you. If a God would go along with that, if a God would engage in that, fuck you. The idea that I would have to bow down to something, fuck you. I don't bow. It's not in my nature. It's not how I am. The thing is, it is straight up immoral. Anyone that tries to say with Christianity all you have to do is believe, you're an immoral cunt. I don't care what gender you are. You can't understand normal thinking. Because the very thing that you would be outraged with others if they did to you is what you want to be able to get away with. You want to be able to do whatever the fuck you want and then say you think Jesus died and that takes care of it. It doesn't do shit. You still have the ramifications of what you did. And if a God would exist, it would still be pissed off at you for what you did. You can't undo what you did by saying you think something. Now it does raise the question in the idea of with a God type of shit. Because let's put it on the table. What Christians care about isn't other people. It is, I don't care as long as I'm safe. All they care about is their own sorry, self-centered ass. Let's be clear on that. For me, even when I was a Christian, it's what made me walk away from it, was the question of, even if I would be accepted into this heaven by this God, could I go along with the idea of somebody else being tortured? And the answer to that, as soon as my own cognitive dissonance faded, and I realized, no, I couldn't. That even if I would be accepted type of thing, I would have to stand up and say, this is bullshit. You're an ass. You're evil. Even if it meant my own damnation. Because I have too much honor. I have too many, my morals are too high. My ethics are too high. I'm too good to be able to turn a blind eye to the absolute evil that I would be witnessing. And that is something Christians can't say. Because the truth of the matter is, if they would have to make a choice of stand up against someone and maybe put yourself in harm's way, or stay silent, do nothing, walk away, that's exactly what people would do. They would walk away. They would drive on. They would act like they don't see it. It's disgusting. Makes me wonder how people can live with themselves. This gets to the heart of who you are as a person. Fuck Christianity. Fuck Islam. Fuck any religion that tries to put what you think over what you do. Your thoughts don't mean shit. What matters is what are you doing? How are you treating people? Because another thing that irritates the fuck out of me are these Christians that want to act like how they feed the hungry. Yeah, you feed them, but only after you hold their food ransom. Till they listen to your stupid, bullshit, immoral, unethical message. Your self-serving bullshit. They have to listen to whatever the fuck you want. You're holding the food over and being, you want it, you want it, you gotta hear this, you gotta go through the hoops that I'm doing. Then it's not free. You're making them pay for it. So fuck you for trying to act like all the good works you do. It's all about serving your own ends. It's all about getting paid one way or another for what you're doing. If I help somebody, like there is a guy that is homeless that I've seen, he used to hang out where I work. I now see him when I am working and I go to Burger King for lunch. I've seen him there and I've gone up to him and I've said, you want something to eat? I don't talk to him about atheism. I don't say a damn thing about that. I just ask him, are you hungry? You want something to eat? And there was the first time I saw him there and did that, he had said, you don't have to. And I was like, I know that. And he also asked, is there a limit? And I was like, no, pick anything you want. I don't care. It didn't matter to me. The cost of whatever, I looked at it as fuck it. I have a good job. And for me, what mattered was that he had a meal. He had food. I didn't have to get a goddamn thing. And I don't say that now to try and get a pat on the back or anything, because that's not what I'm about. My point with it is, why can't Christians do the same goddamn thing that I do? You don't have to give any kind of message. He knows my position on things. He's seen me tear into these street preachers. He's seen me in action. That I will quote the Bible from memory and have these fuckers stuttering and babbling and trying to find excuses. He's seen me do it. I don't know if he believes or not. It doesn't matter to me. Because when I set out to help somebody, I'm not doing it because I'm going to try and push something on them. I'm only doing it because it should be done. Because it's the right thing to do. If a God would exist, I would want it to look at that and be, not patting me on the back, but just kind of nodding and being, it's what you should have done. Very good. But I would look at it and say, why the fuck did I have to? Why can't you? You're the one with magical fucking powers. Of course I can. But why can't you? That's where I would go after a God and be Especially where Christians try saying about, it's up to us to take care of this. Where the fuck is this God? What's it doing? And for it to try and act and pass judgment on me, excuse me, fucker, I'm doing way more than it ever did. So there's no way that it would have a moral leg to stand on. And to try to take the authoritarian, I'm stronger, I can do whatever I want, that is also immoral, unethical. It seriously makes me wonder if Christians have any ethics at all. They want to try and talk about morals and they run their mouth. But they'll also have a fit at the calendar back there. She's not naked. You see cleavage. Wow. It really pisses me off. The thing is, and yes, I'm wrapping it up now. Christianity, on its very premise, is an immoral proposition. The so-called miracles of Jesus don't mean a fucking thing. Even if he did all the bullshit miracles that are claimed, it doesn't make the message good. It doesn't make it right to say all you have to do is think something and what you did is washed away. Because those you hurt still have to deal with the hurt you caused. Why should you get a pass? Or why should the criminal get a pass on their behavior just because they say they think something? And the other side of that coin with John 3:18 is, why should someone like me be condemned, tortured, just because I don't think like you? Fuck you. Christians, fuck you. To try and act like John 3:18 is good. You are saying I should be tortured because I don't think like you. You're an immoral cunt. You can't understand normal thinking. You are not trying to treat others like you want to be treated. You have a double fucking standard. You have what you want to, how you want to be treated, but you don't want how you're treating others to be tossed back on you. You would not want that at all. You would not want others going up to you and saying you should be tortured because of what you think. Christians would be crying, boo-hooing. The truth of the matter is, I would be opposing and outraged just as much if it were Christians that were being targeted for what they think, Muslims, Buddhists, Jews, Hindus, Native Americans. It doesn't matter. Because what you think doesn't matter in the only way what you think matters is the way we think becomes the basis of how we treat others. That is the only way. The way it impacts and determines how a person is going to behave. Beyond that, what you think doesn't mean shit. You can, and I have already, when I'm driving, looked at that, been like, I want to slap this person, I want to kill this person. They're not getting out of my way. The thing is, would I really want to? No. It's just one, at the moment they're in my way. They're irritating me. Or there are times I'm dealing with people of I just want to choke the shit out of them. Do I really want to? No. I'm irritated. The thing is, what you think doesn't matter unless you're acting on it. And then what matters is what you're doing. Your actions are far more important than your thoughts. That's the big message with this, Christians. So what you think something? What are you doing about it? How are you treating people? Because that's the real issue with Christianity. Because I hate to say it, in my life, I've encountered very few Christians that I would say are decent people. In that regard, I have encountered more atheists or even Satanists, the ones that you would think by Christian bullshit that would be the nastiest. No. In comparison, they're far nicer. But feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.